Dear students, a very good morning to all. Welcome you all to BA Part 2nd English Literature class. Today again we are going to discuss the fourth part of the poem William Cooper's My Mother's Picture. As I told you that William Cooper is a pre-romantic writer. He shows the trends of both the Augustan era and the Romanticism. He is a transitional poet. If we talk about the present poem on the receipt of my mother's picture, this poem occurred at the time when William Cooper was gifted a picture of his mother by his cousin. He was overwhelmed at that time. So he became nostalgic and a sense of personal loss occurs. This poem begins with a realization of his loss and the difficult times he has had since his mother's death. He first talks about the day of her death and then the period of grief which followed it. He then recollects the home of his childhood and proceeds to dwell on his childhood memories, how his mother used to take care of him when he was just a child. And then he fancies that the time will come back to him. He will again return to his childhood. His mother will come back in his life. But later, he gave up his desire because he considers that it would be injustice to call his mother back from heaven. She is free from all earthly bonds and miseries of this world, and she is enjoying the bliss of the heavenly life. So it is really improper on his part, being a child, to bring his mother back on this earth, which is full of sorrows, miseries, and misfortunes. So let us continue the poem. Yeah. Thou as a gallant bark from Albion's coast, the storms all weathered and the ocean crossed, shoots into port at some well-havened isle, where spices breathe and brighter seasons smile. There sits quiescent on the floods that show her beauteous form reflected clear below, while airs impregnated with incense play around her, fanning light her streamers gay. Thou here refers to Cooper's mother. He is addressing here his mother. Thou, you, as a gallant bark. Gallant bark, chivalrous, we can say. Thou as a gallant bark from Albion's coast. Albion is the name that is given to the ancient England, we can say. The storms all weathered and the ocean crossed. Weathered came through successfully. The storms all weathered and the ocean crossed. Ocean? Sea. Crossed. You have successfully crossed the ocean of this life. Bark actually refers to the ship. So he is here saying that his mother is just like a chivalrous person who had been very brave to successfully complete her journey of this life. Thou as a gallant bark from Albion's coast, the storms all weathered and the ocean crossed. You have crossed this ocean of life. Shoots into port at some well-havened isle. Shoot means to move swiftly and suddenly, तेजी से चलना, आगे बढ़ना. Well-havened isle, well harbored आइलैंड, बहुत अच्छा द्वीप है, वहां चली गई हो. Shoots into port at some well-heeled isle, where spices breathe and brighter seasons smile. Where spices breathe means spices refers to all the you see जिन्हें हम मसाले कहते हैं जो हम घर में यूज करते हैं. तो वहाँ पर क्या है? Where spices breathe, there are so many spices growing on that island, and brighter seasons smile, and the seasons are very bright over there. The seasons are very good. They are just not like the heavenly season, the earthly seasons. There sits Quiescent on the floods that show her beauteous form reflected clear below. Quiescent, calm, quiet, somber, एकदम शांत चित्त, beauteous, beautiful form, reflected clear below. She is sitting on the shores of the heavenly island, and her calm, composed, beautiful form can be seen in the waters which are blowing over there, while airs impregnated with incense play. Impregnated, filled with incense. Incense means fragrance, we can say. While airs impregnated with incense play, because there are so many flowers, so air is also full of the fragrance. Around her fanning light her streamers gay. Fanning, blowing. Around her fanning light her streamers gay. Gay means they are very happy. Streamers, the persons who are moving the streams. बोट चलाने वाले नाविक जिन्हें हम कह सकते हैं, स्ट्रीमर्स हैं वहाँ पे. They are all happy. They are all in a happy mood. So, here the poet explains his view about his mother reaching heaven safely with the help of a simile, just as a stout ship sailing from England and reaching after a rough tempestuous voyage the harbour of some spicy island in the east. She has taken her ride very safely and soundly on the placid bosom of the waters which reflect her beautiful image, being fanned around by fragrant breezes which waved her gay-colored flags. अब यहाँ पे इन पोएम्स में, इन लाइन्स में जो राइटर है वो अपनी माँ के बारे में बात कर रहा है कि किस तरह से उसकी माँ ने इस अर्थली जो उनके जीवन का चक्र था इस पृथ्वी पर उसको पूर्ण कर लिया है, और उसके बाद वो एक मजबूत जहाज में इंग्लैंड से सभी तूफानों का सामना करते हुए किसी सुगंध भरे टापू के बंदरगाह पर पहुंच जाती हैं सुरक्षित रूप से, और उसके शांत पानी की सतह पर उनकी सुंदर जो काया है वो दिखलाई देती है. चारों ओर सुगंध युक्त हवाएं बह रही हैं और उसके चमकदार झंडे लहरा रहे हैं. उसकी माँ जीवन की तीव्र और संक्षिप्त यात्रा पूरी करके अंत में स्वर्ग में पहुंच गई हैं. So, thou with sails how swift hast reached the shore, where tempests never beat nor billows roar, and thy loved consort on the dangerous tide of life long since has anchored at thy side, but me, scarce hoping to attend that rest, always from port withheld, always distressed, me howling winds drive devious, tempest tossed, sails ripped, seams opening wide, and compass lost. And day by day, some current's thwarting force sets me more distant from a prosperous course. अब वो कह रहा है कि उसकी माँ तो हेवन में पहुंच ही चुकी है और उनके पीछे पीछे उनके कंसोर्ट, उनके जो हस्बैंड हैं यानी उसके पिता, वो भी हेवनली जो यात्रा है उसको पूरा कर चुके हैं, लेकिन अभी शायद उसके लिए वो समय नहीं आया है कि वो उस ब्लिस को एंजॉय कर सके अपने पेरेंट्स की कंपनी में। क्यों? क्योंकि वो बार बार जब भी उस यात्रा को पूर्ण करने की कोशिश करता है, कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स उसकी लाइफ में आ जाती हैं, वो वहाँ नहीं पहुँच पाता। He has still to face the problems of this world, earthly life. So thou again here refers to Cooper's mother. So thou with the sails, how swift. Sails means the ship that is moving very swiftly. So thou with sails, how swift. They are very swiftly moving, hast reached the shore. You have crossed this world's life and you have reached the shore of heaven, heavenly life, where tempests never beat nor billows roar. Their tempests never come. The storms are not there, nor billows roar. Billow मीन्स वैसे तो बिलो ट्री भी होता है, लेकिन यहाँ पे लहरों के सेंस में आया है। वहां पे बहुत ज्यादा तेज लहरें नहीं होती उस समुद्र में, कभी भी तूफान नहीं आते वहां। तूफान यहाँ सिंबल है अर्थली लाइफ में जितनी भी मिजरीज, मिसफॉर्च्यून्स, डिस्ट्रेस, ऑल दीज थिंग्स, है ना, जितनी भी निराशा हमारे जीवन में होती है, जितने भी मिसफॉर्च्यून्स होते हैं हमारे जीवन में, दुख नहीं है उस जीवन में, किसी भी तरह के उतार चढ़ाव नहीं है। And thy loved consort on the dangerous tide. Consort, husband. Thy, your loving husband on the dangerous tide. Dangerous, which is full of hardships. Tide means again the waves which are very dangerous at times. He has also faced so many hardships after you left this world of life. He has faced so many problems in his life, long since has anchored at thy side. And now, because he is living with you, so no more those problems are there in his life. He has also reached your place after facing all the problems of this life. Long since, it has been a long time that he reached, anchored at thy side. He reached to the place where you are residing, thy side. Thy means your. But me, scarce hoping to attain that rest. But still, this is not the proper time for me. But me here refers to the poet himself. Scarce means hardly. Hoping to attain that rest. It is not the proper time for me to attain the kind of rest you are taking with your husband in the heaven. Always from port withheld. Whenever I try to reach that port, I am restrained to enter that port. Always distressed. And I feel depressed. I feel distressed, painful at all those times. Me howling winds drive devious, tempest tossed, sails ripped. Whenever I try to cross that ocean of life, the strong winds blow. Howling winds means strong winds, the winds which are very strong. Drive devious, they drive in different direction. I lose my direction due to the strong winds whenever I try to reach that port. Always from port withheld, always distressed, me howling winds drive devious, tempest tossed. Tempest, storms that come, they flung me away from that place. मुझे उधर उधर फेंक देते हैं तूफान। सेल्स रिप्ड टोन, उसके जो शिप के सेल्स हैं, पतवार है, वो कैसी हो जाती है, टोन हो जाती है, फट जाती है, रिप हो जाती है। सीम्स ओपनिंग वाइड, उसकी जो सिलाई है, सीम्स हैं, वो कैसी हो जाती है, ओपन हो जाती हैं, ओपनिंग वाइड। सेल पूरी तरह फट जाता है, पतवार जो है वो पूरी तरह फट जाती है। एंड कंपास लॉस्ट, कंपास इंस्ट्रूमेंट फॉर शोइंग द डायरेक्शन, एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है जिससे कि दिशा का ज्ञान किया जाता है। समुद्र में जब जहाज वगैरह चलते हैं तो क्या होता है, वो भी कहीं ना कहीं खो जाता है, कंपास भी खो जाता है। एंड डे बाय डे सम करंट्स फार्टिंग फोर्स, डे बाय डे, एवरी डे, सम करंट, करंट मीन्स वी कैन से धारा कह सकते हैं, फार्टिंग फोर्स, बैफलिंग फोर्स, कुछ ना कुछ ऐसी शक्ति है जो कि मुझे मेरे प्रयासों में कैसी कर देती है, निष्फल कर देती है, बैफल कर देती है मेरे प्रयासों को। फार्टिंग फोर्स सेट्स मी मोर distant from a prosperous course. Prosperous course, successful route. All these problems which come in my way, they make me far distant from my place, which will lead me to join my parents in heaven. He says that after a short and swift voyage through life, his mother has reached heaven. In heaven, there are no more calamities and miseries as on the earth. The poet's father, who was a dear companion or helpmate of his mother in the world, has also since joined her in that peaceful land that is heaven. He contrasts his own unfortunate lot with the bliss of his parents resting in heaven, but he is not envious of them. He is glad that at least they are enjoying calm and rest, which is denied to him. The poet believes that his ship of life is driven out of a happy course by strong winds and tempests. The various calamities, particularly his madness, he is referring to in these lines. He sometimes labored under the suspicion that an abandoned sinner that he was, he could never have salvation. These lines are expressive of Cooper's melancholy and despair. He thinks that whenever he tries to pass the course of this life, whenever he wants to enter the bliss of heaven, the ship through which he is journeying, its sails are torn and its masts broken. He has scarcely any hope of reaching that happy and peaceful shore heaven where his parents have already reached. He is kept back from port and is always in distress. Tempests and torn sails do not let his ship of life make any progress. The seams of his ship are open and even the compass is lost. Every day he is being carried further away from a successful voyage by the force of some contrary and opposing current. अब यहाँ पर इन पंक्तियों में जो राइटर है वो कह रहा है कि उसके माता पिता ने अपनी लाइफ जर्नी कंप्लीट कर ली है। उनके जीवन में भी बहुत सारी मुसीबतें थी, लेकिन उन्होंने अपनी लाइफ जर्नी को इस अर्थ पर कंप्लीट कर लिया है। अब उनके जीवन में किसी तरह की कोई भी कठिनाइयाँ नहीं हैं, वो स्वर्ग में आनंद से रह रहे हैं। लेकिन विलियम कूपर यहाँ अपनी खुद की कंपैरिजन करता है अपने पेरेंट्स से, तो वो कहता है उसका जीवन जो है वो बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है और उसे कहीं ना कहीं अपने जीवन में ऐसे लगता था कि वो कभी भी मोक्ष को प्राप्त नहीं कर पाएगा। तो एक सिमिली के माध्यम से वो इसको रिप्रेजेंट करता है। वो कहता है कि उसके जीवन में बहुत सारी मुसीबतें हैं, कई बार वो उसको फिट्स ऑफ मैडनेस भी आते हैं, पागलपन के दौरे भी आते हैं। तो उसको लगता है कि वो ऐसा पापी है जिसे भगवान ने त्याग दिया है, इस कारण उसे कभी स्वर्ग प्राप्त नहीं होगा। कहता है कि जब भी वो इस संसार रूपी सागर को पार करने की कोशिश करता है तो उसके जीवन के जहाज की जो पतवारें हैं वो टूट फूट जाती हैं। और जहाज के छिद्र खुल जाते हैं, कंपास वीक हो जाता है। विरोधी जो धाराएं हैं वो उसे रोज सफल यात्रा के मार्ग से दूर ले जाती हैं। उसके माता पिता एक आरामदायक जीवन स्वर्ग में व्यतीत कर रहे हैं, लेकिन शायद उसके भाग्य में ऐसा नहीं है। So let us come to the next part. But oh, the thought that thou art safe, and he that thought it joy, arrive what may to be. My boast is not that I deduce my birth from lions enthroned and rulers of the earth, but higher far may proud pretensions rise, the son of parents passed into the skies, and now farewell time, unrevoked, has run his wanted course, yet what I wished is done. So, what does he say? But oh, the thought, whenever I think of it, that thou art safe, that you are safe, you have safely reached the shore of heaven. And he here refers to the Father, and he has also reached there safely. That thought is joy. This very idea that you have reached, you both of you have reached safely over there, this gives me joy. That thought is joy. Arrive what may to me. I hardly remember at that time when I am filled with that kind of joy, that when I will be able to reach heaven. हालांकि मैं उस स्थान पे नहीं पहुंच पाया हूं और मुझे आशा भी नहीं है कि मैं वहां पहुंच पाऊंगा, लेकिन जब मैं सोचता हूं कि आप दोनों वहां आराम से पहुंच चुके हैं तो मुझे बहुत खुशी मिलती है। That thought is joy, arrive what may to me. Arrive what may to me, no matter what might happen to me. मेरे साथ क्या होगा ये मुझे नहीं पता कि मैं वहां पहुंच भी पाऊंगा या नहीं। My boast is not that I deduce my birth. Deduce, derive और trace, मतलब मैं मेरे जीवन के लक्ष्य को पार कर भी पाऊंगा या नहीं मुझे नहीं पता। From lions enthroned, from kings, from his mother's side, Cooper has descended from Henry III. वो कहता है कि वो हेनरी थर्ड के परिवार से बिलोंग करता है क्योंकि उसकी माँ हेनरी थर्ड के परिवार से थी। My boast is not that I deduce my birth from lions enthroned and rulers of the earth. I have the lineage of the kings and the rulers of the earth. I am not proud of this fact, but higher far may proud pretensions rise. My proud pretensions, my lofty claims that I am belonging to the family of the rulers. The son of parents passed into the skies. And now, farewell, time unrevoked. This is the time to bid farewell to both of you. The son of parents passed into the skies. What will give me much more pleasure is that when I will cross this world and I will reach up to the skies. And now farewell time, unrevoked, has run his wanted course. Unrevoked without being recalled. Now farewell, farewell here he is indicating that he is bidding farewell to the figure of the picture, his mother's picture. And son of parents passed into the skies, and now farewell. Time unrevoked has run. Time has reached without being recalled. Has run his wanted course. Wanted course, unusual way. Yet what I wished is done. My desire of enjoying your company once again Yet what I wished is done. Whatever was my wish, that is completed. I am once again in your company in the form of your picture. No doubt, I have not crossed the shores of this world, but still I am enjoying the company of yours in the form of this picture. So the poet says that he has little change of ever getting to heaven, where his parents have reached every day. Some untoward circumstances in his life puts him out of the way to salvation. But the poet is not much worried about himself. He is happy that his parents have attained heavenly bliss. The poet addresses the figure on the picture and says that though time has not been recalled and brought back, but has gone on its usual way, yet what he wished has been gained. Cooper has the wish of being in the company of his dear mother again, and in his imagination he has lived over his childhood again and enjoyed the blissful company of his mother. Her love and affection towards him has been enjoyed by him. तो यहाँ कवि कह रहा है कि हालांकि वो इस अपने जीवन में कभी मोक्ष को प्राप्त नहीं कर पाएगा, लेकिन उसे सबसे बड़ी खुशी क्या है कि उसके माता पिता स्वर्ग में सुख से पहुंच चुके हैं। उसके चित्र को देख करके कहता है कि हालांकि समय को चक्र को घुमाया नहीं जा सकता, वापस से उल्टा नहीं चलाया जा सकता, समय अपनी नियमित चाल से चलता है, फिर भी जो वह चाहता था उसे प्राप्त करने में वह सफल हो चुका है। वह चाहता था कि वो अपनी माँ के सानिध्य में पुनः रहे, उसकी वो कल्पना पूरी हो गई है। So let us come to the next stanza. By contemplation's help, not sought in vain, I seem to have lived my childhood over again, to have renewed the joys that once were mine, without the sin of violating thine. And while the wings of fancy still are free, and I can view this mimic show of thee, time has put half succeeded in his theft. Thyself removed, thy power to soothe me left. By contemplation's help, with the help of imagination, not sought in vain, which I have been successful in gaining. My attempts of meeting you were not unsuccessful. I was not failed in my attempts. I met you. I seemed to have lived my childhood over again. And I wanted to live my childhood once again that I have lived. To have renewed the joys that once were mine. I wanted to enjoy again the joys that were only mine during my childhood once. To have renewed the joys that once were mine, without the sin of violating thine, violating, injuring thine, your joys in heaven. I don't want to disturb you in heaven because you are enjoying all the bliss over there. मैं आपके सुख में कोई भी बाधा नहीं बनना चाहता था, लेकिन बिना बाधक बने मैंने अपने जीवन में जो महसूस करना चाहता था उसे महसूस कर लिया है। किसकी सहायता से? कल्पना की सहायता से, इमेजिनेशन की सहायता से। And while the wings of fancy still are free, the wings of fancy still are free, so long as the power of imagination could thus be used. यहाँ पे वो कह रहा है कि मैं आपके स्वर्ग में जो सुख है उसको कहीं भी वायलेट नहीं किया है, इंजर नहीं किया है, लेकिन फिर भी कल्पना की सहायता से मैंने आपको प्राप्त कर लिया है, मैंने आपका सानिध्य पा लिया है। यहाँ पे जितने भी रोमांटिक राइटर्स हैं, चाहे वो कीट्स हों या वर्ड्सवर्थ हो, वो सब इमेजिनेशन की बात करते हैं। तो यहाँ भी राइटर ने रोमांटिक पोइट्स की तरह इमेजिनेशन को बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट माना है। And while the wings of fancy still are free, and I can view this mimic show of thee. Mimic show of thee, your exact likeness or image. आपकी जैसी प्रतिमा मुझे मिल गई है तस्वीर के रूप में। आपसे से जिस तरह मैं रूबरू बातें करता था उसी तरह से मैं इस चित्र से भी बातें करता हूँ. And I can view this mimic show of thee. Time has but half succeeded in its theft. Though time has stolen you away from me, but still it has succeeded only half. Because half of my pleasure I have regained in the form of this picture. Thyself removed, thy power to soothe me left. Though you have been stolen from me, thyself removed, you have indeed been stolen away from me by the time. You have been snatched away from me. But still thy power to soothe, your. There is yet that power of comforting me in distress. Left is still there. So whenever I will be unhappy, I will see this picture of yours and the smile that is there on your lips that will soothe me, that will console me. He says that though time has run its unusual course, the joys and heavenly bliss of his mother were also not disturbed. He is completely satisfied because he cannot be called guilty of disturbing the peace of his mother by calling her back to life from her present abode. He is able to indulge in fancy, and so long as he has that perfect portrait of his mother, time cannot succeed itself in depriving him of his mother's company and her loving presence. The mother's power to comfort him still remains in the picture, although there is no doubt in the fact that she has been taken away from him. In times of need, the picture will be a source of consolation for him, he wants to say. वो कह रहा है कि हालांकि उसकी माँ उसके जीवन में नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी समय ने उनको चुरा लिया है, लेकिन फिर भी जब भी वो कल्पना करता है अपनी माँ की, और इस चित्र ने उस कल्पना को पूरा कर दिया है कि जब भी उसे उसकी माँ की ज़रूरत होगी तो उसे ऐसे ही लगेगा जैसे कि उसकी माँ उसके साथ में है. समय ने उसकी माँ को चुरा लिया है, लेकिन फिर भी समय उसकी यादों को नहीं चुरा पाया है, उसकी कल्पना शक्ति को नहीं चुरा पाया है. वह कहता है कि जब चित्र उसके पास है तो उसकी माँ को छीनने और उसके प्यार को छीनने में समय जो है वो थोड़े ही रूप में, आंशिक रूप में सफल हो पाया है. उसे जब भी वो कठिनाई में होता है उसकी माँ सांत्वना प्रदान करती है. यह सुंदर चित्र सदा उसे आनंद प्रदान करेगा, सुख के दिनों की याद दिलाता रहेगा जो उसने अपनी माँ के सानिध्य में बिताए थे. So this poem is very, romantic in the sense because it talks about all the fanciful things. कि इस पोएम में इमेजिनेशन का बहुत बड़ा रोल है, क्योंकि पोइट की जो मदर है वो उसके साथ नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी वो कल्पना करता है कि उसकी माँ उसके साथ है. जब भी उसे कोई डिस्ट्रेस है, कोई निराशा है, कोई दुख है, तो उसकी माँ उसे कंसोल करती है. और बहुत ही सिंपल लैंग्वेज इस पोएम में यूज की गई है. पोइटिक डिवाइसेज राइटर ने यूज की हैं, सिमिली यूज की है, जैसे टाइम एंड अगेन. So the poem is completed, and if you have any problem then you can talk to me, and I have also sent a PDF regarding this poem. Whatever devices are used in this poem, all that is reflected in that PDF, right? Thank you all.